like the friendship group, and that there was like it was like Riley, one like Asian thing, one black thing, and I was like, yeah, you did,
Yeah, yeah. Let's not be naive. Sorry, where did he live again? No,
yeah.
that's not gonna. It was a gym set, fam. Quick sessions.
Quick one. Had to be done. Had to be done. Yeah, nah. Just touched back from the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit the session with Spence. It was calm.
I said
Yeah.
PT session.
Yeah, quick one. Had to get done.
Good. What's it saying so far, fam?
No, it's good. It's just what I was saying. Spence, I was like, it doesn't actually matter how heavy you're lifting, so long as you're training at the right intensity. That's all we can ask for. Do you get what I'm saying? Will come. But yeah, no, he put in a shift today. A quick one. Got done. But yeah, no. I wanted to chat to you about this weekend because I went to watch Inside Out 2.
Sean.
John? John?
Slaps.
Apps. So when I say...
Look, Sean, this is even nuts because I watched the first one, yeah? And I actually wanted to watch the second one. Is it still in cinema? I think they've wished it. We're still there.
It's fresh.
It's fresh.
Fresh.
Because you know, I watched the first one when it first came out, yeah?
Yeah.
And you see, I went to watch it, and is your thing working?
Yeah, I had to quickly delete an app. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I went to watch it when I was when it came out in it, and I wasn't a young, but I was like younger, but I was still old in it. But we went to watch it for my little brother in it.
Yeah.
So here's me going now, thinking, right, this is all dead in it, but saying, let me watch this kids thing.
100.
You know, Sean. After that movie, I think even we watched that as a family, and I'm pretty sure we liked it more than my little brother. Fam, he didn't even understand it. Fam. He didn't understand it.
John, when I watched this film, yeah, it hit me. These kids after
pulled on the heartstrings, man.
The kids after were like, "Oh yeah, that was a really nice film." I'm like, you don't get it. You don't actually get it.
Yeah, 100%, fam. They didn't get it.
You don't understand what you just witnessed, because what I just witnessed, John, there were some bars in there, John, like absolute bars.
Nah, they dropped bars.
I won't spoil it too much, but the one thing which I think this film does very well, yeah, these men encapsulate an emotion and like portray it to the full. Like, I don't know how to describe it. They can like, you know, the metaphors, John. They're incredible. Like how they're able to take an emotion and evoke it as a actual living being, basically. But there was one bar in there, John, which I can't lie. When I heard it, John, nearly brought a tear to my eye. So the whole concept of the film basically is that, obviously, you know about the girl. It's about Riley, man, like Riley. She goes from being a child, and this one now she's a teenager in it, and it's the change of emotions and that, and it's basically talking about how our primary emotions of happiness, joy, sadness, anger, disgust. Once we turn into that adolescent, it starts to change. Now we're bringing the anxiety, we're bringing the embarrassment, we're bringing envy and sarcasm, all these sort of emotions, and then the main primary emotions get shuffled to the back, go back to the queue. You're not that important anymore now. So obviously, films about these new emotions taking over and that, and now it's the old emotions and their place within these new emotions. But she goes through it. She is struggling. She is like,
it's nuts though. It's okay.
So she basically is now finding it hard to come to terms with that. It's like a major conflict between anxiety and joy, in it. Like how the two, like, you can't have joy is like very carefree, whereas anxiety, which actually made me actually understand a bit more what anxiety actually is. It's not really the connotations we see now of like mental health and all that, but anxiety is literally, it's like seeing an outcome and planning every eventuality of this action that can lead to so many outcomes. You get it? So like in this case, it's looked at like if I don't befriend these certain group of people now, it means that I might end up being lonely at lunchtime, and then I won't have friends the rest of the school year, and then I'm going to be all those sort of things. And joy is very like live in the moment sort of thing, like be happy in the moment, don't care how things go about. But the one thing that Joy said in this film, and it really hit me in terms of like just our own personal lives. There's a point where like she's just like she's not got the minerals anymore. The minerals are gone, and she's like, maybe when you grow up, you're not allowed to have as much joy in your life. And I was like,
See, I know, Sean. I know how they did that in
what?
the movie with the music. They made it slap. Yeah,
All the
they made it
parents,
slap.
all the parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. Do you know what? It actually made me kind
Oh.
of that it's somewhat true, because
Hmm.
I think as you grow up, obviously every decision you make has a bigger impact on the next step in your life, in it, and it
Right.
leads to less being able to enjoy the moments you're in and looking at, okay, cool, this is great, but how is this going to affect me later on? Do you get it?
Hmm.
So the way they encapsulated that was crazy, and to the point where anxiety obviously leads to the Riley having a panic attack, and seeing how panic attacks actually come about. It's the anxiety of like, if I do this, it's going to lead to this, it's going to lead to that. I need this to work out, that needs to work out, and I was like, yeah, you
Hmm.
lot encapsulated the emotions nicely. But I don't know
No, they're
what
cold.
taking it that line in particular. What's your take on that line in terms of? Do you think we can be allowed to have as much joy when we're growing up, like as we get older?
I think I have two answers in it. I have two answers. My
Mm,
first answer comes from a Christian perspective in it.
mm,
So from a Christian perspective, I do believe that there is a certain joy that comes from God in it. I think
mm-hmm,
that
mm-hmm,
one can be patterned regardless of age in it. And I think that also links to peace more so
mm,
than anything. But that's more of a biblical thing, right?
yeah,
My second answer though is I completely hear what they're saying, and I think one thing that I actually heard man like Andrew Tate say this year, and I thought
yeah,
it was even cold.
mm-hmm,
And he was basically saying that he wasn't talking about joy exactly. He was talking about happiness. He was basically saying that you see this happy thing doesn't even mean anything in it.
mm,
Like once you get to a certain age, that doesn't like when people ask like, "Are you happy?" Like, what does that even mean, bro? It's just like,
mm-hmm,
did you get done what you need to get done? Do
mm-hmm,
you get it? And I
mm-hmm,
think it is true that once you get to that adult life, it's like, bro, I just need to get this done. There's this stress needs pattern, and I think happiness or joy takes the back burner. So I do hear it, and
100,
I think I can imagine that there's bare adults that for sure like true joy they're not really feeling that. Which dependent, I think it depends. If you sacrifice joy, but you are actually being productive and getting things done, I think
mm,
in the long run that will lead to greater joy. But there's certain people, Sean, they don't have the joy, but they're not pattern in life, bro. Do you get it?
100,
And
100.
that's the majority of people. To be fair, that's the majority of people. Fam.
But then it also then made me think about things which you said in the past as well, because I told you about there's that Don I work with, and
Yeah,
he is been
it's
working at
family.
working at the same firm for the last like 40, 50 years. Very good position in that. And the other day, he actually made me laugh because he said to me, "Sun was out, sun was shining." He was like, "Did
All right.
you got on your lunch break?" And I was like, "Yeah, I went out on the lunch break, went on a little walk and that." And he was like, "Yeah, no, same." He said, "I've been doing the same walk for the last 40 years." And I was like, "Ooh,"
That is extremely nuts, Sean.
because I thought about my walk in that moment, and I was like, "There's no way I can do this for the
Sean,
next
that's so
40
nuts. So what we're
years."
trying to say, Sean, is you see when us man met in year seven, bro, he was doing that
Mm-hmm.
same walk, bro.
He's been that same walk, John, maybe like
Doing that
three
same
times.
walk.
Like the amount of time probably, John, we've known each other. He's done that walk twice, probably twice, 2.5 times over, every
That's
single day.
nuts, bro.
And no matter how the anxiety of his life has led him to make the decisions he's made in order to be as successful as he has, it's like it's very much like how anxiety is looked at. It's like
Mm,
everything's a stepping stone. Like nothing is the final objective, right?
mm,
As in the sense of there's never like a, oh, I've got to this stage now, so cool, we're done. Like it's like, okay, we've got to this stage now, but then once we've made the first 5 steps, what's the next 5 steps? Like there's never a point where it's like, and I think that's what joy is. Joy is the idea in our
mm.
head that once we get to a certain point, we'll be happy. But the reality of it is once you get to that point, there's always going to be another couple steps, and then you never actually get to that point when you're genuinely happy. So for him, he's worked up to this point in his career now, where okay, he's probably didn't. When he first started, he thought this is where I need to get to. I'm going to be gassed. Do you get what I'm saying? But now he's
Right.
here, and he's not any happier than he was when he started because now it's just there's more things to do. Every time I ask him, I'm like, "Oh, you got a busy day," and he's like, "There's always more things to do. Like once I
There's
finish,
always.
I've still got this to come up. I've still got this to do. I've still got that to do," and it's like, when do we actually? Is there actually ever a point where we're gonna be like, "Cool, I've reached it," or is it just like one of those things you have to accept that like there's always going to be another 5 steps to take? Do you get what I'm saying?
It's interesting, you know. I think that's one of the mysteries of life, bro.
Mm.
I don't think you ever. It's complex, you know. There are some people that get there, you know. There's some people that actually just get to the point and say, I'm actually signing out. I'm actually happy
Mm.
with what I've done, fam, and that's it. But I think for most people, deep down, it's
Mm.
tough to get to the point where you're like, yeah. And I know, like even for us, even if you had like, I don't know, let's say we managed to get to 1 billion or whatever it is, isn't it? Multiple billions. I know. The problem is, Sean, I think the problem is that as you level up, your circle levels up as well. And so you get exposed to more, bro.
Mm.
You're always exposed to the next level. Do you
100%.
get it? And so obviously you'll get to the billions and that, but there's another level and you'll be exposed to it. Like you'll have conversations. One day you'll brush shoulders with the Jeff and that, and you'll see
Yeah.
and you'll say, sorry, who was this?
Yeah.
How much do
No.
you have? 1 billion. Is that it? Just
Is
relax,
that
relax.
it?
Word.
Cool. Cool.
Word.
Word.
So I know like you'll get exposed to more, and that's what creates that. All right, cool. I can still go for more. And obviously, that's what we're talking about, the anxiety. But I guess my question is though,
Mm.
um, I guess obviously I haven't seen the movie in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie, but is the idea that we should learn to like normalize anxiety? Is it that okay, you can pattern it like this is how you can avoid anxiety, or like what was the roughly speaking, what was the vibe
I think
that
the
they were?
overall message was in
Mm,
this was basically that there's always going to be a consequence of every action you make,
mm,
but you've actually just got like there's a point in it where so uh, Riley has like it gets to a point where it's like Riley has all these outcomes that can happen from the next action she's going to take,
right,
but in like okay with that, the a next step is always going to come. So sometimes you
right,
need. There's even a point when anxiety says that to Joy, she's like, Joy, Riley needs you now. Like right now, she needs you. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's like there's always going to be anxiety there, but sometimes you need to find the joy in it. Like sometimes
so
you need
they
to.
hey so Sean, these times is was Joy wasn't the main character this time.
She
She wasn't the
was.
main emotion. Oh, she
She,
was,
she,
but she was okay.
anxiety came and ran the show. She took over the entire show, and it's like it wasn't even. To be honest, anxiety was moving like an up. I'll be real. Anxiety was moving like the biggest up, John. I was thinking, yeah, but it was even like one of them ones where, like, anxiety was so peak to joy, like so peak, but
Mm,
understood that no matter how peak you've been, you can. As I get older, I can't live without you. Do you get what I'm saying? Like you
mm,
to learn to coexist. Do you get what I'm saying?
yeah,
She didn't move on because even this is a good factor as well. Was that prior to anxiety coming in, it showed that joy likes to put all the bad things that happen to us in our lives at the back of our mind in it. So she made like this machine where all the things that happen to us are like when you do bad in a test or
yeah,
when you do I don't know you don't do like bad in a test you do something wrong or you're embarrassed in this moment. Your mind likes to put all those things. Your body likes to put all those things back in the back of your mind.
mm,
But Joy at the end realised that just as much as anxiety was wrong in terms of making everything so logical and having to be planned out, she realised she was wrong in the sense of every bad consequence or outcome that's ever happened to us, you can't. That makes you who you are. Do you get what I'm saying?
right,
Like
right.
all the good and all the bad makes you who you are, and it does make you think like we are a product of not just the good things that's happened to us, all the bad things. You get what I'm saying?
100%,
We would
100%.
not be the same person without all the bad things that have happened to us. We can look back now and be like, yeah, you know what, yeah, this thing was in the moment it was bad, but I'm so happy I wouldn't take it back for anything because that just made me who I am today. Do you get what I'm
I didn't
saying?
even hear it. So Sean, yeah, on this semi topic, yeah,
Mm,
of all the children's movies that you've
mm,
seen,
mm-hmm.
where is that on the list, bro? Is
Mm.
that like how is that dealing with the Toy Stories? How is that dealing with the Incredibles? How is that dealing with the Finding Nemos? Like how are we ranking that one, bro?
I can't lie, John.
Even Frozen.
I can't lie. Had you asked me this when I was a younger you, I probably would have been like, it's good. It was a good film. But for me now, in hindsight, as being an
Yeah.
adult, I honestly believe That is probably the best Disney film I've ever watched.
Was it Disney or Pixar? It's Pixar,
Uh,
no?
is it Potato Pizza? Is it not the same thing?
I don't think so anymore. Something like that. Let me see.
Man, they're not boys like that.
They're not boys, fam. They split, fam. Let me see. Oh, Disney Pixar. No, yeah, no, I'm waffling. Disney bought Pixar. It's like a branch, innit?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For me, John, I think that's genuinely the best. Like,
You think so? So that's better than Inside Out. That's better than Inside Out 1.
yes, 100%.
What's your top five? What's your top five? Cars also can go in there. Planes.
It's difficult. Oh, John, even Cars.
Ratatouille needs to get slapped in there. Have you seen? What was that dog? That Bolt, fam.
Bolt, Cold. I think I actually need to watch these films again because
Sean, you need to, bro.
I need to because I even saw a clip of Cars. It was on a TikTok. You know, people do their edits on TikTok, and they took a clip of Sally was speaking to McQueen, and she said, John, which it was like to do with like self-belief, basically. I can't remember what she said, but John, it was bars. And I know that's the point. Younger, I was not even in it at that point. You know, there's always that bit when you're younger where you're like, there's all the monologue, and you're like, oh, I can't be.
Yeah, word, 100%.
That's where they drop the bars. That's where they really drop the bars. But I think my top five has to be Inside Out for me. Inside Out 2 is probably number one for me. I'll be real.
Okay.
No film really makes me emotional, John. But this one, there was a couple moments I was like, yeah, I feel that. That is mental. But nah, John, there was a moment I had to. Okay.
You just have to word. You just have to just.
They knew what they were doing. Word. And then that's what I mean. The others for me is purely based on how it made me feel in the moment. Like looking at my childhood. Like for me, Toy Story is pivotal in my childhood. Right. Toy Story 2 pivotal in my childhood. So there's those three. Lion King, very important film. Very important.
Oh, that's even another one, bro.
That one there is a foundation block in terms of life. Like if you haven't watched that one, you haven't.
That's iconic, bro. Iconic.
You haven't understood life properly if you haven't watched that film. Because I think even when I was younger, there was certain things they were saying in there. I was like, I get it. Like
sure. You know, all the topics of life you can't find in that movie, bro. The betrayal, fam.
100.
Greed, everything from the good to the bad. You find it in that film, bro.
The word, that film, pivotal. So that's 4. And then maybe number 5. That's a tough one, you know. I think...
Are The Incredibles making it for you, fam?
That is pivotal in my childhood. It's pivotal. Very pivotal.
But I hear it, though, in terms of... It's not as meaning behind it in terms of like a Inside Out, like a Lion King. It's not like a wow, I learned some incredible life lessons, bro.
The last spot is between 2. One is Wall-E, and the second is Up. John, Up.
Sean, that's one I need to. Those 2 are ones I need to rewatch because Up. I watched that at my. You know, we used to have movie night in school, fam, on Tuesday or something. On Friday.
What? Movie night?
And they had to do the votes. They had to do the votes between the 2 movies.
100.
I did that 4 times. And we watched Up, but I just wasn't really...
No.
I'm saying I wasn't really clocking the thing.
No.
I know it was cold, though. I know with that little kid and that old man. I know it was cold. Sean, bro, have you seen Big Hero 6?
Yes.
That has to get at least an honourable mention, bro.
It has
cold as well.
It has to. If you actually look at some of these films, John, and this is what I'm saying, is you only realise it when you grow older, like the concept of like Big Hero 6 is nuts. Like it's just nuts. It's like coming to terms with grief. These are big topics, you know. Like
and Sean, they even put it in the movie, bro. Like it wasn't like, oh, when I was younger, my brother. It was like they allowed us to feel the grief as well, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
When I watched, I said, sorry, is this a kids' film that we're watching?
100. That's the thing. Even Up, that's another one where they build you.
Watch that, bro. Don't even tell me, fam. I need to watch this one, fam.
Yeah,
I need to watch that one, bro.
I promise you, I'm going to watch it this weekend because that one there. I remember there's certain films where I've watched at the time I was a certain age, and I knew that this one here is deeper. Yeah,
I even hear it.
They have to. Do you know what it is? I realise these Disney guys, they're smart. They have to include this stuff in it because otherwise the parents are just going to I'll turn off. Like, do you know what I mean?
This is why, and this is why it even bangs, because the parents actually rate the movies as well, fam. Do you get
100,
it? Like the parent can go and say, "Oh, it's for the kid," but it's not, fam. It's for the parent. Do you get it?
100. And actually, come to think of it, I'm thinking about it. There was nothing that was really forced in terms of like the whole like, oh, let's shove in a bit of LGBTQ.
Oh, they didn't do that.
I mean,
Swear.
it was obviously it was all based around girls and that, but obviously I wasn't
Yeah,
because
that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's no problem.
like obviously the whole friendship group. I saw there was one picture. There was one
Two
thing.
yats. Two yats.
So there was no, it was nothing like that. But it was because
Yeah, word.
it would have been all white girls, but they forced it a little bit. I was like,
Yeah.
we'll let
To
you
be
watch.
fair, that's fair enough, because I thought they would have shown. I genuinely thought they would have forced all of that in, bro.
This is what I mean. Even the whole like emotion thing, I thought they were gonna go bare like mental health route in terms of like
They didn't even do the yeah word.
it wasn't really like that. It was more just like
Okay.
how these things logically work. I think it was trying to take it like put it on a foundation level where a lot of people they think anxiety is like I don't even know, like it's just like you panic a lot and stuff like that. But when you actually
Right.
break down, we all actually like the ones there sometimes when they say we all have this and you're like, yeah, no, we don't. But this one I was like, we actually all do. If this is what they're saying the core definition of anxiety is, then we've all had it before. Do you get what I'm saying? Because we all
Do you feel like the anxiety that you have is controllable though?
yes, in the sense of I too felt the way I have felt the way in which the emotion of anxiety was portrayed in this film, but it's one of them ones where I come to terms with that. Okay, this is might not work out, and I think in terms of like what we said about last week about falling in love with the process and that, I think that is a major link to this whole concept of anxiety because there's a point where anxiety is like you're trying to control a lot of variables that are not actually controllable. Whereas when you've actually just fallen in love with the process, you just allow these things to just unfold. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So I know in a day that I've got to achieve X, Y, and Z, right? But in my head, it's like, okay, there's so many things I can physically control within this time. So, like, for example, today, we always said we were going to record today. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, as it got later throughout the day, I could have then started stressing to say, "Oh God, we're not gonna be able to record it. How am I gonna? Oh, we're not gonna be able to think." But then it got to a point where I was like, you know what? It's calm. It'll get done. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we'll find a way.
We'll find a way, fam. We'll find a way, fam. That's why I'm even hearing this lighting, fam. You see where I'm at, fam?
100. I'm seeing the background on that. This is not our usual settings.
Yeah, it's not the usual setup, bro.
We'll find a way because otherwise, this is what I'm saying. Like we always say it all the time. Like a situation like this, you've got to laugh or you'll cry because what's going to happen is going to happen. So if you now are obsessing over something which you really cannot control, I don't believe in crying over spilt milk. It's whatever is done is done. Right. But I like to think that in the 24 hours of the day, I've used them to the best of my ability. So if I can't do something within that certain amount of time, hey, it is what it is sometimes. Do you get what I'm saying? That's the best I could have. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one.
By the way, outside of kids' movies, are there any other movies that you feel like are on this level in terms of emotional movement, bro?
Yeah, do you know what? There's only one film, I know it straight away.
Wait, Sean, wait 1 second. Does it start with F?
No.
Okay, interesting. Because there was one I had that, to be fair, that makes sense. I'm trying to think, do I know the movie?
100% you know the movie. 100%. And I'm going to take the first letter. It begins with P.
P?
Yeah.
Wow, my mind, Sean, you know when people talk about your mind going blank?
I'm gonna do one action, John, and I promise you'll know it straight away.
Say, let me see.
Imagine.
Yeah.
John.
Man, like the Pursuit, fam. The Pursuit.
John.
Yeah.
I felt the clap. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one, fam. That's a good one.